Okay, okay. So as you may know, we're in the midst of a nasty pandemic, and it's called COVID-19, and it's a bad virus, and it's sweeping the globe right now. Now, basically, man, the last month there's been like major disruptions, major major cancellations of sports events, of everything like that. Everything that has happened in the last month. I mean, seeing businesses close down, seeing people lose their jobs, everything like that. I guess I actually think about what has happened, and I guess the extreme that has happened. It's very disturbing because something like this has never happened before, especially to this degree. So there's like I guess like a new reality about what the situation actually is going forward. Knowing it's a confusing time for like many people who have to endure basically the changes in like routine and stuff like that. And so I feel that there are many issues here that need to be talked about. Now, the first is accepting it. Now, accepting it is difficult because it's a brand new routine. It's something that's never happened before. It's something that potentially has disrupted your normal routine about what you usually would do. For example, seeing businesses shut down in every town and city, not being able to walk downtown basically past those nice stores and see them open is something that's disturbing. You know what I mean? Like accepting not being able to go out with your friends and actually go to the movie and stuff like that and go grocery shopping and not grocery shopping and going out and doing stuff with people or going out to a nice restaurant, having a nice meal. I think that it's difficult not being with other people, and I think it's difficult. I guess the reality about this situation about accepting, I guess the changes in the routine and stuff like that. Knowing for me, it's been very difficult since March 15th, not being able to go to the library, not being able to do the things I enjoy doing. And so I think that it's painful. I agree it is, and I don't like it either. I hate it, man. I hate the fact that I'm not able to. I guess I basically I'm not able to do. I guess I do things I enjoy doing. So the question is, how do we accept the new reality and then actually and basically accept the things we can't do? I think that that's difficult because there's many feelings that come with it. A is anger. Anger basically being okay, I'm upset about the things I cannot do. I guess I'm upset about being inside. I guess really for my friends and family, the people that I usually interact with, and basically knowing, like, what am I gonna do? Basically, knowing I've lost my job because basically, man, my company shut down because, or the store that I worked for shut down because of the pandemic, and then basically knowing the scene of stores shut down in town just makes me upset because like those businesses are not going to be reopening and like anytime soon, and it's about accepting the reality that even in 6 months those businesses will still be closed, and that's difficult. I guess it also means that basically it's been upset about the reality of seeing. I've seen all this stuff happen and seeing people take some extreme measures to prevent themselves from getting this infection, and I think that. But you know what? There is a reality that people need to think about, and it's about something called flattening the curve. So basically, in a worst case scenario, you have something like this, which means that there's a spike in cases over a short period of time. Yes, that means that the pandemic is not going to be as long as it is right as it usually be if they did things like this. But I mean, as you can see the difference. Here's a basic imagine design being a healthcare max capacity, which means if the healthcare capacity is over maxed because of the pandemic, your few doctors and nurses and healthcare workers are not going to be able to assist people and get people better that are very sick of this infection. Even though up to 9% of cases are mild, there's still people who basically get very sick because they're not have because they're basically because they have a weak immune systems. They're older people, and people don't have, I guess, resistance as younger people do, like myself. So I'm thinking that this social distancing, accepting and being angry about it is not going to do you any good because it's something because you can't do anything about it anyway. You have to. Which brings me to the second emotion. The second emotion is fear. No, fear basically is evident because people are scared about the future. People are scared about the reality of not having a job in 6 months still, and people are scared and fear about the future of everything about. I'm scared about sports, and I mean, knowing that sports. I mean, if sports not on again, I mean, what's gonna happen? I mean, like knowing, I mean, like we have a basically NBA season in the balance basically, and like in May we're gonna find out in a couple of weeks what's gonna happen with it. And I'm actually very concerned basically because I'm scared, man, that they're gonna cancel it. So I'm scared about that. But I'm also scared about the reality about the future myself because I mean I have a job at Living Stones that potentially if it's potentially that company shuts down, then that's gonna be bad for me because I enjoy working as my second job. But at the same time I understand that, this is a crisis, it's a critical situation, this is something that's never happened before. And then something that's never gonna happen again. But for now it's about understanding that fear has to drive you to be better and stuff. And the third emotion is shock. How can you actually feel at peace if businesses, after being open for so many years, this sunny side of doors one day, not to reopen for probably 6 months after that, maybe more. And you think about that, and you think about what that business had to do, and you think about what decision they had to make to shut down, and that's painful. But at the same time, society is like this right now. It's fall apart. But use is a basic case. I guess it's in the normal because you have the essential workers on this side and you have the non-essential workers in this side. Now the essential workers, even in quote normal circumstances, they're valued but not as much because you have the essential work because you have the non-essential. The people that are on the movie studios, the people that do the casinos, the people who work in bars and stuff like that, and like basically, entertainment venues like movies and stuff. Those venues now are shut down because of the pandemic. So like now you have the essential workers who keep the society going. So let's say, for example, basically that I don't know basically I don't know basically how you describe this man. You have basically you have supply and you have demand. You have both. So I mean like here's the situation about the non-essential workers. Knowing that society needs people. Each company needs people. Let's say, for example, that no one came to your store every day, that no one walked into your store and bought anything. And let's say that happened. You would shut down after a week because that store would not be functional. And it would use profits and money. So that's what's happening right now. We have the non-essential businesses. Because the social distancing is not getting face to face. And I think that that's evident to me. However, It's the essential workers are getting us through this, because those workers, I guess, are keeping society going. Yeah, so yes, I do agree that it's, quote, disappointing, and its quote is, I guess, disturbing seeing all these businesses shut down. But you have to understand something, that these businesses don't want to be shut down. They don't. But this is a critical situation. This is a nasty, nasty, nasty pandemic. It's a nasty virus. Even if people who have mild symptoms and mild disease get very sick, this is a nasty, vicious virus, and it's not going to go away until there's a vaccine. So basically, you have to deal with the sins about not going out with your friends and doing the things that you want to do for you have a period of time. Yeah, so before I go on to the second major point of this speech I'm giving to you guys, is about accepting at one point things were normal. And they were just a few months ago in like mid-February. And now things are not normal. But then again, things can be normal in the future. Things can be back to normal in the future. We don't know. We don't know like when that's going to be. It could be 6 months. It could be 12 months. It could be 3 months. It could be a couple of years. We don't know when that's going to be. But I guess what we do know for now is that for now it's not going to be interacting with people face to face. It's going to be interacting with people by Facebook, by Snapchat, by Google Hangouts, stuff like that, by phone and email, or by Skype. And I think that for the time being, it's going to be work from home and stuff like that. But I think it will pass, and the time it will pass, and then we'll return to where it was. But I guess until that reality, people need to understand that this is not forever, and it's for now. Now, so the second point basically is adapting. Now, this carries with it a reality of things that we need to do now, that things that we have to change. And it starts with behavior. For example, before this pandemic, if you understand that according to management course I took, there's basically there's people who may basically introverted and there's people who are extroverted, and there's people in the middle. But basically, say for example, basically I learned that people who are basically introverts are pain avoiders. People who are extroverts are pleasure seekers. Now those who are the pleasure seekers, that are introvert extroverts, those people potentially are being affected by this. So those are the basically non-essential workers. Those are people that enjoy going out to those venues, those entertainment venues, those basically sport games and stuff like that. Those people enjoy contact with other people, and those people right now cannot do that. So it basically is difficult because it's very difficult to examine how someone could be in that situation. But as I said, this is not a situation that we have to take, I guess, for granted. We have to take this scene seriously, man, and it's about adapting to a changing routine. And that is painful. Especially knowing he's basically seen as empty streets and like empty towns and basically piercing under lockdown and stuff like that. And you think about those cities that are empty and think about seeing the news every day about COVID-19 and thinking about, I guess, adapting to like a new reality and adapting to a change in what we usually do. And I'm thinking that that's difficult for I guess many people. Even though I have Asperger's, it's difficult for me. But I think that I've adapted to it because I know that there's things I can do now. For example, I can take my courses online if I want to go to university, and I basically know I'm making like more money now because I'm an essential worker and I got pay raise because of this. But I also think that the people who lost their jobs, it's just like, I guess, like adapting to reality of a new routine of not working, of not having that income, and not having a source of income, basic stream of steady income, and that's difficult. And I agree, it is very difficult. But at the same time, this is not a situation that is typical. This is not a typical situation. This is a difficult situation for a lot of people. So, and I feel that I guess adapting to things that you can't do anymore. I guess it's stressful because the stress about not being able to do those things is evident. But as I said, knowing that this is not the time to be thinking about. I guess when your favorite sports team's going to be winning the NBA title, about when you're going to be seeing your friends again, about when you're going to be going to the next movie. This is a time to stay healthy, to stay safe, to stay well. And this is a time to care for the people that are close to you that are risk of getting sick. This is a time to ride out the storm of this virus. And this is a time to ride out the worst of it. Because I think that the worst of it is yet to come. And I actually do believe that COVID-19 is to be with us for the next 6 months at least. And people need to understand that. But it's difficult to understand something that I guess I've never been seen before. I do agree that, it's difficult. I guess adapting to a new situation about new way of doing things and that is difficult. Trust me, it is. But yeah, so now the questions start coming in about why, basically, why this happened. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know why this happened. No, that's a common question. But then again, basically, man, it's something that we have to accept to be exact. That it's not about understanding why these things happen. It's about, I guess, understanding. Now, what do we do about it? What do we do? Basically, because the question now is about not so much about why this happened, like why this tragedy happened, but the question now is about what do we do about it? And that's evident to me that people need to understand. Not to blame other people, not to blame China. Okay, the Chinese brought this virus on this world, not to blame China. Or basically we were in China, the place that started, not to blame China for this, or blame anybody for this, because no one's at fault. So that's something to get out of your brain. Is that no? Is that actually blame China? Because they did not get this virus going. It was a virus that was way to attack humans, and it did. And I think that understanding who is responsible, no one's responsible for this. Now about the reality about like, where do we go from here is something that's evident to me. But then again, it's not so much evident because it's a pandemic and about basically where do we go from here basically? How do we make it through this? Not seeing people face to face. But then again, it's about seeing someone's face on TV, seeing someone's face on Facebook and stuff like that. It is knowing that, like it's gonna be okay. So basically, man, yes, the third major point before I get into the post recovery is changing your attitude. It's about changing the way you view the world and changing the way I guess you do stuff. Because No, and you can't do anything about the crisis. You can't. I guess. I mean, I guess. I'm gonna wake up one day and it's gonna be over. You have to understand that this is gonna be a thing that's gonna be going on for a while, and you have to adapt to it and change your attitude and change the way you do stuff. And know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's difficult. It's disturbing. It's seeing the social distancing, seeing everything like that, seeing the places closed, seeing the businesses going to be closed for I guess for the next 6 months and or basically 4 to 6 months or longer, and seeing potentially and basically seeing a society that you haven't sat down and seen that happens, and basically going for a walk around town and seeing everything closed, there's signs in the doors saying that they're closed because of COVID-19, and just seeing that, and it's just painful. Mhm. But I understand what basically why this has to happen, and basically I guess before you get upset about the change in routine, about the change in what I guess since they do, you have to understand why they're doing this, because it's something that has to be done. You know what I mean? And yes, it's painful, but I do understand that this has to happen. No one is very difficult to examine how much longer this is going to go on for. This social distancing is extreme. Social distancing is shut down society. Like how much longer can it go on for? And we're all having major impacts on the economy. And I was thinking that it's going to be a while before places, I guess, like reopen. I suspect not to be any cases reopening until the post-recovery phase of the pandemic. Knowing, I mean, I'm going to get into here about when I think that's going to happen, but right now it's about understanding this is the present. Yes, it's painful for the people who basically had their, I guess, routine adjusted, about people who have to change the way they do stuff and blah, 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 and it's difficult. And I do imagine it's difficult for a lot of people. Trust me, still was yesterday, there was everything was normal and everything was in sync, but now everything's not in sync. And I think that, it's not gonna go back to the way it was for a while. Yes, I mean, like, yes, people want the shutdown to be over. Yes, people want everything to be back to normal, but yes, this pandemic, basically, yes, the pandemic is continuing, and that's not gonna change anytime soon. Yeah, so virus has to run its course before it actually comes to an end, and this virus is not ready to, I guess, I mean, like, stop just yet. It has to infect many, 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 many more people before it stops. So the question is basically is that I actually read somewhere last week. I think it was a week ago. They said that the pandemic is gonna peak in Canada between late spring and early fall. So between May and September in that ballpark. So what that means is that it's gonna be probably November before things are down at a baseline level. And by then, hopefully, we should have a vaccine by then. And hopefully, by then, things will start returning to normal as we head into next year, 2021. But knowing that, I guess, in the meantime, it's about adapting to the things that and changing behaviors. But keep in mind now you got a basically like, I mean now you got new behaviors. So now even after the pandemic comes to an end, you have a new way of doing stuff. So now you don't have to go back to you can continue on with the new, because that's what the psychology states, is that if you change the behavior, it's going to be changed forever. That's my goal, is to be a counselor, man. I want to counsel people. So that's why I'm doing this, because like I do find that people need to understand that this is not an easy situation. But then again, it's necessary. to again flatten this curve that people don't want to go like that instead of going like that, for people to want to go like this. Over time we'll do that basically, but for now it's adapting to the new reality in a situation that we don't have any control over. But I feel that I thank people for staying home. I thank people for not going out. I thank the people who are staying home. Those people are doing the right thing. Keep it up. I also thank the nurses and the healthcare workers and the essential workers that they're basically keeping us going. And I thank those people who are basically braving us out and going to work every single day. And they're basically going to work every day, week, month, and actually getting us through this crisis. And I pray for those people right now who are not working. And I pray for the people who are not doing anything right now. And those people know they can. There's hope. This will end. This will stop. COVID-19 will be gone pretty soon, hopefully. Knowing by this time next year, it's basically be gone. It's gonna be over, and basically by then, everything's gonna be back to normal. But until then, just do what you have to do, basically, to get your life going. Like now, now you have a chance. Because before I get into post recovery, there was a coworker at the place I work at. And he told me something that's very important. He said to me, Duncan, you have got to focus on, in this time of uncertainty, in this time of pain, in this time of despair, in this time of everything. I've seen businesses closed, seen many businesses that basically may not be able to reopen, and seeing the reality that now you have a chance. You have a chance now to do what you want to do. You have a chance to get something going in your life, to I guess develop a new passion. Knowing that my job at Evans Stones, I guess my job doing the landscaping might not be going on after this pandemic. And I know that. I know that Evans Stones being shut down in 12 months or a year, it's going to be painful for me, but I do understand that this pandemic is not going to stop me. I know now that I'm stronger because I know now I can do stuff now. I can focus on my future. I can focus on what I want to do in my future. I can focus on doing that. I can focus on getting that going right now. Because now I've got a chance. I've got a chance. I got time. I pray that you people basically understand that there is a time to waste and a time to get serious, and now is a time to get serious about your future, about what you want in your future. I encourage every single person watching this video and every single person going to watch this video to understand that you have a future, that you have something that you can do, that you have hope, that there is a chance for you to do something amazing. I do believe that this shutdown is a chance for you guys to reinvent yourselves, to do something that you've never done before. So after the pandemic, well, in a post-recovery phase, you guys can know you guys are going to be okay because you guys are going to make it through that period, man, without being in trouble. And now as we switch into the post-recovery phase of this chat, I'm going to encourage all you guys listening to basically, man, take this seriously, man, because this is the reality. Now, basically, as we go into the post-recovery phase, now it's a post-recovery phase, people are probably asking, what is this going to look like? Well, here's some questions for you. What do you want it to be? It's a tough question because there's no easy answers to it. First and foremost, I mean, the businesses that were shut down, many are going to be open again. That's good news. So I'm very happy about that reality. Is that many businesses that were shut down are going to be open again. They're going to be open again. But there's many more that are going to be shut down for good. So that's even more painful. But at the same time, it's about understanding that This crisis will never happen again, ever again, ever again. It will never happen again. So that's something to be grateful of. That's something to think, okay, yes, this will never happen again. I feel that to be the reality, and I feel that to be hope going forward. Even though it seems like, well, it seems right now, oh God, this is awful. But right now, people are just adapting to the situation about thinking about the post recovery. I suspect we're going to be in a recession for a while. I suspect that the economy is going to be tanked for a while. I suspect the economy is not going to recover for a while. And I suspect there's going to be lots of people out of work. But I do think that people are going to recover. People are going to come back stronger than ever. I think businesses will come back stronger. I think that people in general will understand that they'll change behaviors and change attitudes and change everything. And people will understand that that had to happen. But there is a situation that has to be adapted to. There's a situation people need to understand about the post recovery phase. And that basically the post recovery phase is not going to be easy because it's going to be difficult, especially for the businesses starting to get back up and running again. And that's going to be difficult for them. But for the majority of people who have made it through the crisis, who got us through it, those people are going to be better, better off. I do feel that people need to understand that the post-recovery phase is not about getting everything back to normal. I guess like it was. It's gonna be different normal. Here's the thing about normal and a different normal. People need to understand that it's not gonna be like it was ever again. It's not gonna be as exciting as it was. It's gonna be different. But that is not something to be freaking out about. That's something to be grateful of. Is that something that people need to understand? Is what do we do now when things are going to be that way again? Will it be as busy as it was? Will it be as much traffic in every city as there was before? Will everything be open again? That's the question. Those are the questions people are asking. The question is, nobody knows. Only time will tell what happens. I do feel it's going to be a bad situation for a while, but over time it's going to be okay. It will be. I do feel that this social distancing is not going to be forever. It won't be. I feel that people need to understand that this is a reality and this is a bad situation right now. But just think about in a year from now when this is all over and this is all back to normal. And people say, oh, you look back at 2020 and like, it was okay. We got through that bad year and everything is okay now. But I think that, just seeing something that's happened, like life is all about ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, and it keeps going. But right now, we're in a down right now. We're in a down period right now. We're at the pit right now in 2020. But you get 2021, you're going to be up again. Basically 2019, we're up. And we're basically up and going to 2020, but then we went down and because of the pandemic. So I think we'll be down for a while. Short the pandemic, but basically post recovery in 2021, we're going to be going up again, slowly but surely. And then eventually in 2022, we're going to be up again. Yeah, so in a couple of years, we're going to be up again, like we were a couple of years ago. We're going to be stronger than ever, and I do feel that. But I also feel that people need to realize that this is a crisis that had to happen, because I feel that people, I guess, in things are quote normal, they don't think about a change in routine. They don't think about this happening because it's never happened before. But now that it has, what do you do now? Well, there is a situation that people need to understand. It's not about what you do, it's about what you don't do. And I feel that, like even as things go back to normal, even as business reopen again, even as your habits go back to where they were, I think that people need to understand that this is a crisis that we're all in together. And I think that people need to understand and grasp that this is something that is going to happen, but it's something that is going to is basically be overcome. I do believe that. I also believe that we can overcome and conquer this if we work hard to achieve something better. Now to summarize this speech, I guess the question is about the first question is like, what can be earned from this? Well, the one thing to understand is that like, what can we earn from a pandemic? Yes, it's not going to be easy because it's not an easy situation. It's not an easy situation to overcome because you've never had this happen before. But I think that people will understand why this had to happen. Known as the saying, basically, that normal is boring. Yes, known as time to overcome the old, and it basically gets out of the old and of the new, and that's the situation that we are faced with now. But here's a but. Yes, it's not about basically it being back to normal because I'm going, let's face it, it's going to be different. But I mean, like, what's that going to look like at this point? Is what the question is. I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know this is that people are going to change. People have already changed already because of this crisis, and people are going to be stronger, they're going to be better, and they're going to know what they need to do. And I do feel that people are in the midst of changes, in the midst of major changes, and I feel that this has to happen because people need to adapt to the reality about what they did before was not working and what they need to do differently from here on in. And I think that I do feel the social distancing is basically going to continue, and I do feel it's going to be a permanent sin. But I also feel that people need to understand that this is not going to go away. This virus, man, it's going to be with us forever. Even though it's going to be seasonal, it's going to be with us. It's going to be with us for a long time. And I feel that even with a vaccine, it's going to still be with us during the winter, fall, winter. So I think that people need to understand that yes, it's not going to be as bad, but I think that it's not about, I guess, what the situation actually is. It's about potentially what have you actually learned, and to learn something about what the reality actually is, about what the changes in habits, the changes in behaviors, and those changes. I guess with for the better because you impacted your community. You gave the healthcare workers, you gave the nurses and doctors I basically high five because those people got used to this, and those people, those essential workers, got used to this. So I feel like that is amazing. I also feel that people need to understand that this crisis is not going to be over. It basically not going to overcome us. We will overcome this crisis. We've had this happen before. We've had a couple of world wars, and we've overcome those world wars. This is World War III, but this will be overcome. This will end. Guess what, people? We will overcome this. We will beat this. We will get rid of this. Like this will pass. It will go away. It always does. I believe that. I believe that this crisis is going to come to an end. And boy, oh boy, I mean, like when it does come to an end, all of us are going to be back in our cities. All of us are going to be back in our communities. All of us are going to be back doing the stuff that we love doing, and we're going to be coming back with. We're going to be coming back with everything we have. And I do believe we're going to be better, stronger than we've ever been. And this crisis will not overcome us. It won't. We will beat it. We will get back on track, people. Believe that. Have faith. That's what the reality is. Who's excited? I am. And that's all I gotta say for now.